Okay, kids, it's your turn yet again. And this is one that I think we've done before, but follow along, sing along, and watch Miss Karen for your hand motions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, good evening, boys and girls. We're going to continue on walking through the Bible together. And again, like I say every week, if you don't have a Bible, have somebody go to the website and give me your name and your address, and I will send you one free of charge. Everybody needs to have a Bible. And so we've been talking about Abraham and Lot, if you remember. God told Abraham to go to a new place. And he and Lot went together with all of their families and all of their animals. And if you remember, we talked about that where they were, there was not enough water and there was not enough grass for all the animals. And so Abraham told Lot he could choose where he and his people would go. And of course, Lot chose the green pastures, everything that looked beautiful and lush, and left Abraham on the hillside with little grass and water. And then if you remember, where Lot went to was a place called Sodom. And the people there were evil. The people there were really bad. Have you ever had your parents tell you, don't go near there, or don't go there, or don't go around that person or this person because they're bad news? Well, that's the way things were in Sodom. And God decided that he wasn't going to let it go, that he was going to have to punish the people of Sodom. And so we pick our story up there in our Bibles, and we're on your page 16. One hot midday, when Abraham was resting in the shade of his tent, he saw 3 strangers coming towards him. 3 strangers coming towards him. And it would have looked something like this back then. They all stayed in tents, and they all had long robe-like clothes to wear because of the desert sun and the heat, to keep themselves from being burned. You know what it's like to go to the beach or out in the sun and get sunburned. It's no fun. Abraham went to greet them and invited them to rest and eat with him in his tent. There was a great hurry and scurry as Sarah and the servants went to work. They baked fresh bread. They roasted a calf and offered this to the visitors with bowls of milk and cheese. And when the meal was finished, the men explained why they had come. Abraham and Sarah had grown very old by this time, but God had good news for them. Very soon, the son they longed for would be born. How surprised and how pleased they were. But what the men said next made them very sad. God said that Sodom, the town where Lot now lived, was going to be destroyed. The only good people in Sodom were Lot and his family. So God sent his messengers to warn Lot to escape before it was too late. God sent messengers to Abraham to warn Lot that where he chose to live was going to be destroyed because of the evilness, because of the bad things there, because of the bad people there. But Lot was a God-fearing man and his family, and so he was given a warning they must leave right away because God was going to destroy that city, and he didn't want Lot or his family to get hurt. How often does God give us warnings? How often does God share with us that something bad might happen? Maybe it's through an adult or a teacher. Maybe it's just somebody trying to keep us doing the right things at the right time. You know, sometimes we have to be punished even as adults because we don't do the right thing. We find things out the hard way. And so the next time your mom or your dad or your uncle or your aunt or your grandparents or your adopted parents or your guardians, whoever is taking care of you, tells you you've done something wrong and punishes you, whether it's sitting in the corner or whatever, taking a toy away or having a timeout, whatever they do, it's out of love. It's out of love to protect you from doing the wrong things again. God puts adults in our lives to help us, to guide us, to mold us into the kind of people that he wants us to be. Loving and caring and God-fearing. God loves you, boys and girls. He loves you more than anything. And he'll go out of his way to prove it. And he will use those that he sends into your lives to help you and guide you and direct you. Once again, I look forward each week getting together with you for this little bit of time that we have to walk through the Bible together, to learn about God, to learn about his son Jesus, and to learn what it's like to be a Christian, a follower of Christ. God bless you. As always, I look forward to our time together next week.